Gemini, welcome back, guys. Don't forget to click that like button. Guys, somebody is asking your ex what happened. What happened? How did they end up losing you? What was going on? And your ex is like, they don't know what to say. Because they know if they say the truth, it's going to make them look bad. And they know they messed up, but they don't want to say it. This person just like, oh, I don't know. They're just like trying to dodge the question, and somebody's pushing. They're like, no, really, what happened? Because that person is telling your ex, you were so happy back then. You were better off back then. Your life was in order back then. You were just better off completely all around in every which way. That person's telling that person, telling your ex, and your ex is like, yeah, yeah. And I could just see them, they're just like putting their head down, like, yeah, because they don't know what to say. They don't know what to say. Somebody's asking them the hardest question that they have ever had in their whole life because they don't want to say what's going on. They don't want to say what went on, because they know. Yeah, they know. They don't want to say they messed up, but they know they messed up. They know they did wrong. But the thing is, that person that's asking them, it could be a parent of theirs, it could be an aunt, an uncle, okay? So it's somebody who they have a lot of respect for. It's somebody that they don't want to lie to, okay? They don't want to really lie too much. Maybe they might exaggerate with that person, but they don't want to lie, right out lie to. But that person is asking them the hard questions, and they don't know what to do about it. Now, ever since you and this person broke up, I'm hearing that person's life has gone downhill and people are noticing. People around them is noticing like, wow, your life is just falling apart, you know. You're drinking or you're drinking more, you know. You're doing things that are careless, you're doing things that are reckless. People are noticing that this person doesn't care about things like they used to. I'm even hearing that even their appearance is changing. Like they're not taking care of themselves like they used to. They're not getting dressed up. They're not, getting their hair cut. They're not, it's just the little things like that that really add up, right? And they're not doing it anymore. So people are noticing this person is falling apart, and it's affecting every aspect of their life. Their job, their income, how they make an income, it's affecting everything. And this person that's asking them the hard questions, it's not because they're trying to hurt them, it's because they're trying to help them. Like, you need to get your life together. You're falling apart. You either need to go and beg Gemini to come back, or you need to do something. That's what that person wants to tell them. They want to tell them, hey, you better do something. You're falling apart over here. But they're not saying it in those ways. They're just saying, like, you were doing so much better when you were with Gemini. Life was better for you in all different ways, shapes, and forms. And that person is just like, yeah, yeah. They don't know what to say. Oh, goodness. There's been a gathering, maybe a wedding. It could be a wedding. There's been a gathering or a wedding where this person is having to face like a lot of family members, a lot of friends and family all at the same time. And I'm hearing that it's not just one person that's asking them this question, it's been several people that have already approached this person with the same question, like, what happened? What'd you do? Well, at least some of them are saying, like, what did you do? What did you do? That kind of thing. Because they saw that when this person was with you, this person had a reason to get up every day. They had drive to get up every day. And now it's like they don't have that drive anymore. They're losing that drive. And everybody's seeing, everybody's putting the dots together and realizing it's because you're not there. You're not with this person anymore. The thing is that, since you've been gone, Gemini, like this person's life has fallen apart. And let me tell you, this person is scared. They are scared. They have said things about you that they shouldn't have said. They spoke too quickly. They reacted out of anger. So they said things, they exaggerated things. And now this person, their life is so bad. I mean, things have just fallen apart for them. And this person is so scared. They feel like, at any moment of the wind could blow and everything is just going to fall apart for them. Like they are struggling, trying to keep things, up. They're struggling. It's like a person who's balancing a huge tray on their hand, but now this person is just, trying to balance it on a finger, right? And any little wind or any little wrong movement, everything could fall apart. And this person knows it. And they're scared. They don't know what to do. Then the thing is they know they did wrong. They see it. They see it now. They're like, okay, they knew they were wrong at that time. They just didn't realize how wrong they really were, right? Until now that they're looking back at everything, now they see, wow, were they wrong on so many levels, right? But they're still saying this whole thing like, oh, well, Gemini did their thing too. Or Gemini had their problems too. And they're still trying to clump you into that circle, even though you had legitimate reasons, I'm hearing, why you did what you did. Like you had legitimate reasons, like you had no other choice. Some of the things that you done, you had to do it because there was no other way around it. So for one of you, it might have something to do with finances, like you had to pay one bill instead of the other, and now this person's mad because you didn't pay that one bill. Instead, you took care of this bill. That's what I'm hearing. Or you did something with the money. You moved the money around or something. Okay, and that might be confirmation for, a couple of you there. And the thing is that this person, they're it's like they know that when it comes to weighing the wrongs of who was more wrong than the other, like they know they take the cake. you know they take the whole cake. Oh, and and this person, man, they're scared, but their pride is in their way. And let me tell you, somebody at this wedding or party, it looks like it could be a father figure or an uncle. Well, it could be a female too, guys. It could be their mom. It could be anybody like that. But it's definitely somebody who's in their masculine energy here. Okay, that person is telling this person like, "Hey, you need to go and beg Gemini to come back. You need to get them back. Your life is falling apart." I mean, that person is just telling them flat out to their face. They're not just like coming up and being like, "So what happened? What's going on?" They're not. This person is not sugarcoating anything. This person is not like trying to give them hints. No, this person's not playing games. This person is just flat out telling them, like, you need to go get Gemini back. You need to just swallow your pride and you need to go get Gemini back because you're like messing up. Your life is going to fall apart big times. It already is. And they're telling them flat out. And that person's like, yeah, okay, I don't know. And that person doesn't know what to say because they're like, how do I do this, right? But that person's telling them, hey, swallow your pride. And this person's like, they can't do it because their ego is so big. Their ego is like, it's so ingrained into who they are as a person. That's the biggest problem. This person has a big ego. And I feel very strongly that it's that big ego that really messed up the connection between you and them. It really was. It was their big ego that just kept getting in the way. If they could just get rid of that big ego, it looks like things might have worked out between the two of you. But their ego just kept getting in the way. And let me tell you, when a person has a big ego, it causes problems not just in one thing or one area, in the connection. No, it affects everything, even the money part, where you wouldn't think it would affect money, but it does. It affects everything, and this person just kept, they wouldn't stop. For one of you, I heard that this person threw away something that was valuable to you. That might be confirmation. Okay? Or they took something that was yours, like something that was valuable of yours, and they're holding it. Okay? And they told you that they threw it away, and they didn't. They have it. Okay? And it's something that's sentimental. It could be something that you've had since, well, Six of Cups, like maybe since you were in elementary school or something, or it might have something to do with school, you know. So something like that. That's for confirmation, guys. The thing about this person, that this adult, I want to say adult or parent figure, is saying is that they're telling them flat out. They're letting them know, like, why is it everywhere you go there's drama? Like, why is it every time you get into a connection, there's always big drama? And even though it looks like, things are going to go good, at the beginning, everything looks like it's going to go good. You get into a connection. We think, okay, this is going to be the one, and everything's going to work out. And then you cause drama. And this person is telling them, they're not sugarcoating anything. They're like, why is it that your mouth always gets in your way? And this person's letting them know, you have a big mouth. You say things you shouldn't say. If you don't have something nice to say, then don't say nothing at all. And the thing is that person, they don't even think before they speak. And you know what? That person, that adult, the parent figure, is telling them, that's your biggest problem. You don't think before you speak. They're letting them know flat out. It's their attitude. They got an attitude problem, and they need to adjust that attitude of theirs. This person is not sugarcoating anything. They're telling them flat out. They know. They know it has this, everything that happened between you and them. This adult figure knows it was them. They know it. And they don't even have to talk to you to find out. They already know. It has something to do with their attitude. They already know it. They got a big mouth. They already know it. They know. And they're telling that person flat out, you got to calm down. You need to mature. You're too old to be doing this. You need to grow up and learn when to be quiet and learn, what battles to fight. Because that person's telling them, like, hey, when you get into a connection, you don't have to fight every little battle. Like, when you're in a relationship, you don't have to fight every little battle, because not every little battle is worth fighting. If the person puts the toothbrush on the right side of the sink, don't be so petty. They're telling that person flat out. They're telling them because they care about them. They're telling them because they see that this person, like, out of all this person's exes, this is the time that this person is falling apart worse than ever before. So they're seeing the effects that this has taken, and they're seeing that this person's going through some kind of depression. They know it. This person's not taking care of themselves. They see it. And this is why this person's like just bluntly saying it to their face. Why is it every time you go around, and they know it because they've seen it even with the family, guys, okay? So it's not just in their relationships. It's in the family. This person causes drama, so they could just only imagine what kind of drama that you went through with this person, right? And they're telling them not everything has to be fought about. Sometimes you got to just brush things off. It's little things. If they left the toilet seat up, it's little things. Those are small things. Those are just small annoyances. You're never going to live with somebody and be in a relationship with somebody without those small annoyances. It's just the way it is. It's part of the package. And the whole thing is that you have to find the person that's worth going through all those small annoyances for. Because it's going to happen whether you like it or not. Some women like to hang up their bras and panties in the restroom after they wash them by hand, right? It's things like that. And this might be something that bothers that person. Maybe you did that, right? It's just things like that. Like this person is just like flat out telling this person they're giving them the right advice, and your ex knows it. They know it. They know in their heart that this person is telling them right. But again, it's that ego. It's just screwing them up. And that person, your ex, is just sitting there. They're like, why can't I learn to shut my mouth up? Like, why can't I learn to keep my big mouth shut? Why do I always have to run my mouth? And they're just sitting there like, yeah, they're nodding and listening to what people are saying. And you know what's crazy? It's I don't even think these people even know that, each one is doing this. Like each one doesn't know what the other person's doing. It's just that they see their opportunity to bring this up. You know what I mean? Like everybody's drinking, everybody's having a good time, everybody's celebrating, like they just feel like this is the right atmosphere to talk about something serious, but in a way where it's not like they're cornering the person, not so overwhelming. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that person, they're sitting there, they're like, damn, I got a big mouth. And they're finally like, there's a part of them that's like, it's sinking in, They're like, dang, I got a big mouth. Why can't I keep my mouth shut, And it's slowly sinking in, little by little. Anyways, your person is starting to think that, maybe they need to go stay off by themselves. Don't get around these people, because they already know those people are going to be asking them questions, saying things that they don't want to hear, you know, making them face things they don't want to face, that kind of thing. Spirit, give us two angel numbers here for Gemini. And your person's thinking, man, why did I even leave the house? Why did I leave the house? All right, first one we got is 333. I don't think I've ever seen this one. It says, you are being called upon to use your spiritual gifts as a light worker. Oh, yes, I think I have had this one before. We've had this one before, right? It says, assisting all of humanity, live your truths and be a positive light to others. I am powerful. So put that in the comment section. I am powerful. You got angel number 1 coming out for you. And it says you are a self-starter with very innovative ways of creating opportunity. Your determination and endurance are powerful and will help you get through rough times and reach success. I am innovative. So do put that in the comment section. I am innovative. I am powerful. All right, guys. If you're still here, my daughter's in the hospital, so I'm asking for prayers for baby Ninja. She's in the hospital, and they think that she had a stroke. She can't use her right arm, and she can't use her left leg. And it happened yesterday. And yeah, she's having problems with her right side of her face, and we don't know what's going on. They did a scan already. They did an MRI on her. They did a CAT scan, and last time I talked to her was about an hour ago, and they're going to do another one because apparently I don't know what happened with the first one, but they're doing different tests on her. They admitted her into the hospital, so I'm asking for prayers for her, for baby Ninja, and also, guys, I'm still doing the fundraiser. I wanted to remind y'all about that. I'm still doing the fundraiser. I will be putting my Cash App and my PayPal information in the description. What happened was I've been sick. I've been getting sick and been missing work and stuff. So it happens, and missing work, and I'm already like I was already behind on my electric, and now I'm really gonna be behind on my electric. So yeah, I already know. Anyways, I don't know what's going on. Why the electric bill has to be so high? It's insane. Anyways, guys, also I need to get some groceries, so that's why I'm doing the fundraiser. Okay, even if you can only give $5, donate $5, $10, whatever it is, every little bit helps, and I would greatly appreciate it. Anyways, guys, catch me in the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Y'all take care now. Bye bye.